ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paddy and welcome back for another edition of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. This is the April show 2021. This is, of course, Americana. We are here in a packed, absolutely filled to the brim Charlotte Garden, our main event of the evening, the first Confederation of the Territories World Heavyweight Championship here in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling of the new year. It is, of course, George Wolf defending his Heavyweight Championship of the World against Coastal Zone Championship Wrestling's Jackpot Jordan. We've also got a one-off appearance tonight by the man we didn't think we'd see for quite a while, Island Boy Apollo. He's here for just one night only to team up with his tag team partner Kid San Juan. The Puerto Rican boys are going to be taking on the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champions. The team of Acid and Stuntman Devil May Care are in action later tonight. Also, we have the almost yearly reprisal of the match between Marvelous Marv Statler and the Architect Dean Waldorf. All that and more to come tonight on Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. We kick off the show with a match between Ernest Youngman and Cameron Jones. Good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Ernest Youngman defeated Cameron Jones in 11 minutes and 49 seconds by submission with a cross-face chicken wing. We have Cameron Jones trying to employ that bull in a china shop style that he is known for. If he can get that momentum going to become the unstoppable force, then he can sometimes run away with matches. He's got that body built for absolute destruction and dominance, and he tries to hit the ropes and get this fast-paced professional wrestling going to make sure that he can overwhelm and dominate his opponent. But Ernest Youngman's too good for that, and he manages to diffuse absolutely every situation, working down Cameron Jones, working that flashy, charismatic, technical style that we love Ernest Youngman to do, with a wink to the crowd as he locks in absolutely every single technical hold that you can think of. Going from hold to hold, working down every single limb on Cameron Jones's body with a smile, as he proves himself to be the excellence of execution. Absolutely sensational in that there ring. Absolutely fantastic as he works down Cameron Jones. Manages to diffuse absolutely every piece of momentum-gaining tactical maneuvers that Cameron Jones tries to pull off. Ernest Youngman is having none of it. And he picks up the victory in the end with the most deadly submission maneuver in all of the territories. His cross-face chicken wing, and Cameron Jones gets a new gimmick, and it doesn't do too badly at all. After the match, Ernest Youngman goes to the interview area. He looks Sweet Tabitha up and down and says, "Baby girl, what you have just witnessed is one of the greatest names in the territories today. Ernest Youngman, working down one of the greatest names in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling today, Cameron Jones. And you want to know why, baby girl? It's because I'm the wrestling machine. I'm the best there's ever been. I'm the assassin of the squared circle." And you know, George Wolf and Logan Wolfsbane want to walk around thinking that they own the place. But I've said it once and I'll say it again. The future goes through me. Because diamonds fade, but Ernest Youngman is forever. And you can be damn sure that if you buy a ticket for Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, the first thing you'll see, and the last thing you'll see, is the greatest technical wrestler in the territories today. And I don't want to have an ego about this, but it's damn true. Working down absolutely anybody you send at me, because I take pleasure with every step I take in that there ring. I'm the Ripcord Invitational Challenge champion, and it's about time I get the opportunities that are deserved to me. Ernest Youngman perhaps looking for a championship opportunity of some sort. As we move into a good match, a decent match between Dewey Archer and Marv Statler, as these two trade some fast-paced, flashy throws. I think you can see a lot of the suplex style of Marv Statler and a lot of the more technical hold style of Dewey Archer shine through in this one. Marv Statler trying to pick up the pace, trying to ratchet it up, trying to get it to a much faster, slicker matchup, while Dewey Archer, well, you know, is definitely a fast and fluid technical wrestler. Similar to Ernest Youngman in a lot of ways. He likes to disengage the situation, and he likes to slow it down a little bit so that he can just have a bit of control over his opponent. You know, Marv, in contrast to his partner Deadly Dean, is often known for his slightly faster pace, whereas Dewey Archer is much more of a Deadly Dean gritty grappler style, where Dewey likes to have control over his opponents. And indeed, in this situation, Dewey is able to control Marv Statler, is able to slow down the bull in a china shop, not in the same way as Cameron Jones, but, in that way where he likes to have the faster pace. He likes to be able to throw people around, really show his size. He's 250 pounds. He's a bigger lad. He's also older. He's got a lot of experience behind him, but Dewey Archer on this occasion is able to get the advantage over the wily fox from New York, Marv Statler, and pick up the victory with that deadly proton lock. Of course, legendary Sam Keith invented the move, one of the most deadly submission maneuvers in all of professional wrestling. We move on to not a bad match as Cowboy Brad Blaze tries to keep his momentum going after his victory over the Mean Machine last month and ends up failing, coming short against the return of a monster. The former Hot Prospects Tournament entrant, the former Sam Keith Classic entrant, James Diaz picking up the victory with the Asian thumb spike. Both lads coveted brawlers, decorated brawlers. Brad Blaze brings that barroom brawl style of just throwing punches in a clinical yet very vicious and unprotected manner, whereas James Diaz is more of a Japanese style, mixing in those chops with those stiff forearms and elbows, willing to work Brad Blaze down with some nasty Puro-looking strikes, whereas Brad Blaze is much, if you could imagine James Diaz in a MMA ring, you could imagine Brad Blaze in a pub fight. That's the different styles these two bring to this sort of match, and James Diaz, with that more precise, more professional style of brawling, is able to pick up the victory with his patented Asian thumb spike. And then Davis Wayne Newton gets himself back on track by forcing the Mean Machine to submit. Mean Machine comes at Davis Wayne with the down-to-earth brawling style, tries to work down the triple threat, tries to work down Davis Wayne. But Davis Wayne's got that fast-paced Canadian, Puerto Rican style where he'll hit the ropes and he'll work up that momentum. He's able to do these awe-inspiring, these death-defying stunts. And he's able to ratchet up the pace. He's able to keep it going, inspire the crowd, and feed off that atmosphere at the Charlotte Garden. And in the end, lock in that STF that makes the Mean Machine tap. Good stuff from Davis Wayne here. And then Scythe continues his momentum as he just destroys Deadly Dean. Deadly Dean, of course, trying to take down Scythe, trying to work him down on the mat. We've seen Deadly Dean before trying to grind out results, trying to grind people out. But Scythe is, Scythe has a couple weaknesses. Scythe doesn't like it when people sink to his level, when they're brutal, when they're vicious. Scythe doesn't like it when he has a really fast-paced individual in there who's willing to open and exploit weaknesses. Deadly Dean is not either of those things. Dean is a slow, grindy grappler, and sadly, that just plays right into Scythe's game, because every time Dean tries to take Scythe down, he stomps on his face. Every time Dean tries to lock in a submission maneuver, he stomps on his face. Scythe just stomps on Dean Waldorf's face and picks up the victory with a chokeslam, continues to dominate the scene, the vindictive, vicious, and pain-loving Scythe. And then the Tag Team Championship matches, the Puerto Rican boys make their return, but end up in defeat as Stuntman picks up the victory with a jump the shark, defeating Island Boy Apollo, and Devil May Care make defense number 3 of their Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championships. Good stuff here, as of course we have Kid San Juan trying to match the Devil May Care attitude. The Devil May Care with their bodies on the line, glory for Valhalla style. It doesn't matter if they take a concussion or a broken bone if it means coming away with the grandest tag team prize in the territories today. The Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championships, one of the most prestigious championships to hold in this business. It's their second time with the gold. And they indeed put their bodies on the line. They throw caution to the wind, and they're reckless with every second they're in this match, using any type of innovative maneuver, sunset flip power bombs to the guardrails, high fly flows past the crowd, monitor to the skull. They'll do whatever it takes, because they're willing to put their bodies on the line, and they're certainly willing to put their opponents' bodies on the line. That's one of the points with Devil May Care that you really got to consider. If they're willing to do that much damage to their own bodies, what are they willing to do to their opponents' bodies? But indeed, Kid San Juan, one of the most accomplished high flyers in the territories, he was one of his group of friends who was actually hired by a professional company. A group of spot monkeys that tried to get a professional set of contracts, and he was the first to get hired. He was seen as being a competent enough high flyer, and he has only evolved from there. He is one of the best high flyers in the territories today, and he shows it, and he goes toe-to-toe with Devil May Care, and then Island by Apollo acts as that secondary dynamic. While Kid San Juan manages to go toe-to-toe with some of the greatest high flyers in Mid-Atlantic wrestling today, Island by Apollo comes in a wreck house to disrupt the momentum and the flow. A great brawler and technician in his own right, Island by Apollo, a former 3-time Mid-Atlantic singles wrestling champion, comes in and manages to really change the pace of this match. But in the end, it is that killer instinct. It is that willingness to do absolutely anything that Acid and Stuntman provide that end up winning them the match, managing to work down Island by Apollo with some nasty high-risk maneuvers that just end up coming off the top rope, maybe some sort of 450 splash that ends up just winding Island by Apollo long enough to hit that jump the shark, and Devil May Care make defense number 3 of their Mid-Atlantic Tag Team titles. In the interview area, the World Heavyweight Champion George Wolf, he gets on the mic and says, "Jackpot Jordan, I've seen a lot of you before. You're a guy from California. You look $1 million. You're in the gym every day, and you want to test to see if you're good enough. You want to test to see if you're the full package. Well, what you're looking at, son, is the measuring stick. That's right, that's who I am. I am the single, solitary, standing pillar of the Confederation of the Territories. I've been here since day one. I'm the best this business has to offer. I have this $75,000 piece of gold around my waist because I am the greatest natural athlete this company has ever seen, and I work harder than anybody has ever seen. I have a luxury villa in Osaka. I tour Japan 3 times a year. I'm a former historical Japan champion, but I came back here because I know that there's only one title in the wrestling world that makes you the man. And that's what I've got around my waist, Jackpot Jordan. I'm the man. So you want to see if you're the total package. You wanted to see if you were better than the man. And you invited me to Coastal Zone. I came over there and I beat you. And now you come here. You come to my home. You come to my territory. And you want a rematch because you said you weren't feeling 100%. And usually I wouldn't grant that rematch. But I see a lot in you, kid. I see you look $1 million. I see how hard you work. Well, fine. Come down here. Come to Mid-Atlantic. Face the measuring stick. See if you're the total package. You only got one shot, kid. Make it count. And in a 65C, George Wolf defeats Jackpot Jordan by pinfall with a spear. George Wolf makes defense number 9 of his World Heavyweight Championship. Jackpot Jordan trying to bring some really fast-paced brawling to George Wolf, Californian style, similar to what we've seen from Fro Shore and a little bit from Frantic Ali, although Frantic Ali has a vicious, vindictive edge, whereas this is more of the fast-paced, fluid, and charismatic Californian brawling that we're used to seeing. And of course, we've seen Jackpot Jordan here before, part of Rich and Famous, former World Tag Team Champions, and he brings that electrifying California brawling style, trying to send George Wolf off his game. George, he's a slow guy. He likes the slow pace. He's a brawler. He's a technician. He can do all of it, but he likes the slower pace. And that's exactly what this match doesn't seem to provide in the opening ways for George, because Jackpot Jordan just takes it to the big bad Wolf, back and forth with the big brawling style. But George Wolf, he is competent enough. He is competent enough to really hone in this match and slow it down, work those technical holds to diffuse the situation, probably skills he's learned with his series with Ernest Youngman last year, an ability to diffuse fast brawlers and slow them down with little drop toe holds, little kicks to the knees, just to make them go to the mat, make them take a bump, because once they've done that, they've slowed down, they've got to restart their momentum. And that's what George does. He slows down Jackpot Jordan. He makes him restart his momentum. He just puts little chinks in his armor, little kicks here, little punches there, and he slows down the Coastal Zone brawler. And he manages to put his own style in the match, manages to start working his basic technical stuff, manages to just lock in a guillotine choke, transition a headlock into some sort of crossface, manages to just work down Jackpot Jordan, make him frustrated, make him start taking more and more risks, and eventually he leaves himself wide open for the deadliest maneuver in the territories today, the spear. And it only takes one. George Wolf makes defense number 9 of his World Heavyweight Championship. Good stuff from George and good stuff from the entire roster. I hope you guys agree and enjoyed. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the series. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out a link to my Patreon if you're feeling especially generous. Link to my Twitter if you're feeling like hearing me ramble. And yes, seems relatively good. Next episode, we are going to be having a Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Championship match between Ernest Youngman, who does seem to be on a bit of a roll, and Logan Wolfsbane. Can Ernest Youngman add yet another championship to his resume, or will Logan Wolfsbane, the youngster, continue one of the greatest Mid-Atlantic Championship reigns in history? Also, it was announced a couple of days after this event that George Wolf has a big announcement, or a big challenge to make next episode at Old School Rules. Additionally, some material has been released on the Mid-Atlantic website where the ring general said that the Tornado tag team match between them and Devil May Care was a match designed to suit Devil May Care's strength. And although they don't want to back down, they want to give them another Tornado. Well, they're happy to do Tornado tag. They wanted to add their own spin to it. And so they've challenged Devil May Care to a steel cage Tornado tag match, where the best of both worlds will be said and done. And if Devil May Care accept, then finally they can have an ending to things. We'll find out if they accept on the next episode. Also, Logan Wolfsbane versus Island Boy Ernest Youngman. And yes, much more to come. Hope you guys will join me then. And if you do, I will see you guys then. Peace out.